2031, and 2033. Kawhi, who played 7 seasons with the Clippers, turned 35 on Monday. It's obvious the Clippers want to rebuild with a younger roster. The Clippers started last season with the oldest roster in the NBA. The tennis world is hoping Serena Williams continues her comeback after losing her first-round singles match Tuesday at Wimbledon. In her first match since 2022, the 44-year-old Serena lost in 3 sets to Maya Joyce of Australia. Serena is still planning to play doubles at Wimbledon with Venus. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. The headline in the newspaper read, Black leaders join forces to bring Destination Crenshaw toward the finish line. Now, beyond the headline phraseology of toward the finish line, if you actually read the article, it said that Black-owned contractors are now being mobilized, major new financing is being secured, and it is anticipated that construction activities will begin within the next weeks. That statement has more hedges than a Beverly Hills mansion, more hedges than a nervous groom's wedding vows written by a divorce lawyer. But it's funny how progress starts moving once somebody turns on a microphone. 4 weeks of KBLA editorials and suddenly everyone has found their hard hats. It's amazing what happens when the community starts asking questions out loud, and this is why Black media matters. We don't need more empty promises. We need a finished project. Political accountability to Black fellow citizens means that elected officials and institutions must answer for their actions or inaction in ways that are real, measurable, and consequential when they fail to follow through. I suppose the good news here is that LA City Council President and 8th District Representative Marquise Harris Dawson is now officially on the record. But to be clear, he's also on the clock. Remember now, it is anticipated that construction activities will begin within the next weeks. We shall see. We have exercised our right to free speech, but there are other rights the Black business community can exercise as well. This is a classic example of a public nuisance claim if ever there was one. Again, we shall see. What I can tell you is that Black business owners and Crenshaw community residents have been calling, emailing, and literally showing up in our lobby demanding more and asking how they can sign on to this effort. Put simply, after years of delay, the people have had enough. My big mama put it this way: once a task you have first begun, never finish until it is done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. Now, I need to put on my hard hat, go outside, and wait for these procrastination Crenshaw construction crews to show up. I'll let you know if and when they do. Trust and believe. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
Welcome to Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we center Black, women, and BIPOC-owned businesses, highlight opportunities and initiatives for underrepresented entrepreneurs, and center socially innovative enterprises, building generational prosperity, fostering real networking, and recycling Black dollars. It's Wealth Building Wednesdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. It's time for this. This is what we do. I love this. We get to spotlight businesses, local businesses, Black-owned, women-owned. And you want to get in on it, you can reach out to me, deprimaradio@gmail.com, deprimaradio@gmail.com. I am happy to welcome into the studio, you all know it's my favorite thing, when people come in person and I get to meet them. Today we are talking with an entrepreneur, an old-fashioned entrepreneur who's got a neighborhood store that's been open since April, not long, and I am so happy when I see black-owned businesses opening right now in this situation where we're looking at gentrification and people getting pushed out of the neighborhood. Some folks are just pushing their way on in. Kenny Smith, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? And thank you for having me.
I'm blessed. Great to meet you. How are you?
I'm just great. Glad to be here.
So you are the proprietor of the Crenshaw Mini Mart.
That is true.
And we were talking off the air. You said it's kind of like a old-fashioned neighborhood corner
Old-fashioned,
store.
old type of store when you were younger, when you had the mom and pop store on the corner and your mother would send you down there either with a note or stuff to get something, and you were familiar with the owner and he was familiar with your parents. So that's the type of environment I have down here on 78th and Crenshaw.
And that's dope. 78th and Crenshaw, 7820 Crenshaw.
Yes.
You opened this in April. Was this something you've been thinking about for a long time? Was it a lifelong dream, or was it a spur of the moment? I think I'll open a store.
No, it was something I've been thinking about for a while. Originally, I was going to open up a market right here in Lamert Village. But unfortunately, the gentleman before me was the councilman's son got the building, the location. But I was second in line because I spoke to Dr. Dove, who runs the King Parade. And unfortunately, that didn't pan out. So my cousin had a building down on Crenshaw, but we had to get some people out of it. And I told him what I wanted to do. He said, "You going to do what?" I said, "Well, I'm up a little mini market right in this community, man. We got to do something for the community. And it's black-owned. We're not going to go nowhere." Because he owns a construction company. So he keeps his equipment on the other side of the building because it's commercial property in the front, residential in behind. So I decided to open a little mini mart.
There's so many things to love about that story. First of all, it's a black family working together.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Where it's like your cousin, and so you know that you're not going to get
that part.
district by GS.
I'm going to get put out and get the boot after years of, being there. I'm going to be there. So I'm going to invite all of the community to come down and support me as I support them. And for anyone who has their own personal product, be it male or female, if you want to come down to my store and talk to me about having it in a brick and mortar store, we can work out the particulars.
I love that also. I mean, just being able to go into a neighborhood store and know that there's someone from the neighborhood that knows the community, that's not going to follow you around simply because you're black,
that part
is really dope.
Yes.
I love that for us. And so the building is owned by your family. It's a black-owned building. So we did a show, I think last week, where we were saying, are black-owned businesses being pushed off of Crenshaw? That was the question. Do you think, is that something you're seeing?
I've seen it. I've heard it on your show. I was looking at your show the other day in regard to the, I guess it's the district. The brother
Right.
down there was on your show.
Yes, he was.
And that's a sad situation. And unfortunately, that is what's going on. And probably not just here on Crenshaw, but other cities probably throughout this country. But we're going to stay focused on Crenshaw. But
yeah, I think it's happening in other cities throughout the country. We've seen that happening. But the thing about it is, I feel like LA is pushing back more than other cities.
Oh, we're pushing
because,
back.
you see Prophet Walker buying up parts of Lamert Park and other, Art and Practice, which has, a black board, and other Black Lives Matter LA bought the BLM Center for Black Power. And we're seeing black people who have the means buying buildings, the land trust, the destination, downtown Crenshaw, excuse me. So all of these initiatives give me hope, and then you hear stories like the district, and I think, wow, can we move fast enough to keep ourselves here?
Right.
To keep our flag in the ground. So, but it sounds like you have gentrification-proofed your business.
Yes, I have. I'm going to be there for a while. My main thing is with this little market, and like you're talking about the other individuals we're trying to hold on to what we have here in LA, is to begin. You know how back in the 20s they had the Black Wall Street, where there was more than one Black Wall Street.
Right.
So if we can just get that mindset, and those who are in position financially and who are black, to put forth that effort, to teach some retail business ideas some marketing plans, for our people.
Right, and also to
hold on. We just say
No,
to
go
hold
ahead.
on to your parents' property.
Yeah.
If your parents own some property, they give you $1 million for it. Your $1 million is going to be gone less than a year because what our people, unfortunately, and I'm not here to talk about that, is we want to spend, and you want to be like somebody else. And you shouldn't do that. You need to
Well,
hold
not
on to
only
what you
that, I
got.
mean, where are you going to live? That's what I
And then
always
where
say.
you gonna go?
You sell a property, you think, I have $1 million, but you're not going to be able to find,
Not in California.
maintain in California. No, not.
You got to get
not-
out of here.
Right. And so, yeah, I agree with that. I've always said that, and people get mad at me because I feel like I'm judging you. I'm not judging
No,
you. If
you're
you
not
want to move
judging.
to Moreno Valley or Fontana or Apple Valley, you got to do what you got to do. But if you can hold on to it, even if it means renting it out. And then you continue to benefit from that property's appreciation, meaning it's worth more and more and more
Because your parents work
over
hard
time.
for that. They, it just, yeah.
I see it in on my street actually. But back to you here, the Crenshaw Mini Market, an old-fashioned market, but then again, in a way, it's not an old-fashioned market because you have some very modern products. April Sims is in the chat saying Kenny is a man of his word. He carries my juices, April's Life in a bottle.
Yes, I do.
Which is yummy juice.
CNS formula as well, and some other natural products.
Yeah, I see you
like
have
black seed,
CNS formula, which I love, and it's hard to find. I always have to order it on the internet. Now I can just
come
run
down
up
the
to
street
78th and Crenshaw and get it.
And come get it. Yeah.
I love that for
Yes.
us. And you have, like I was teasing you. I see you have Skittles, Reese's, Cheetos, and Doritos, but you also have chia seeds, rolled oats, quinoa, and brown rice.
Yes, and have fruits.
The choice is yours.
Your choices, and
You
have,
can get with
your
this,
cleaning products.
or you can
and
get
stuff.
with that.
Yeah, your choice is yours.
Right.
We have something for everybody.
You said we can get our cleaning products.
Yeah, like your Fabulosas and your Fabulosas and detergents, and we also have for those who are celebrating the 4th, we have your pans, your charcoal, your lighter fluid, your plates, your cups, your spoons, and beans and rice. It's just a convenience store.
That's dope, though, because a lot of corner stores you can get nothing
Yeah, and we sell.
except for junk.
Yeah,
that's all you can
no,
get,
you get-
junk
we're
and
gonna
liquor.
get-
Here you can
have a
get black
choice.
seed oil. Are you,
You get
kidding
black
me?
seed oil here.
Bananas
Bananas.
and you know what?
And natural lotions, natural toothpastes, and normal toothpaste as well. So
And normal toothpaste as well. But,
normal, but the everyday Colgate and stuff like that.
but what I like is that like we have those choices, and we don't have to travel super far to
Right.
get some brown rice and beans. I've always wondered why in New York the corner markets have fruits and vegetables. There's like fruit and vegetable stands. Here, our corner markets only have Black and Milds and candy.
Wow, that is
And-
true though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think this is a great accomplishment that you've done. We'll continue our conversation with Kenny from your new corner store when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. 5 years old, yeah, with more that's coming your way. Congratulations, come on, y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA. Look, 5 years deep and we still going up. Built it from the ground, never real, no one else. Real talk on the air, then the truth get heard. Every day the proof getting served. He had a vision and he stayed with the plan. Now they tapped in from the beach to the land. Never back down, 7 days of the week, still going up now. We 5 years deep. Wishing happy birthday to KBLA. Happy smiling, you did it with 5 years today. Congratulations, come on y'all, let's celebrate. Happy birthday to KBLA.
You've been hearing about it, and now it's your chance to get tickets to the LA Jazz Festival on the beach. Saturday, August 22nd. Party on the Stand with Janelle Monáe, Charlie Wilson, and Parliament Funkadelic. On Sunday the 23rd, it's John Legend, Raphael Sadiq, Original Coffee, Terrace Martin, and more. 2 epic days for a first ever music festival on Dockweiler Beach. Tickets are selling fast at lajazzfestival.com.
You have something to say, and we want to hear it. KBLA Talk 1580 is engagement radio, not outrage radio. A place where your hopes, your frustrations, and your ideas are welcome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Real talk, real people, real Los Angeles. KBLA Talk 1580, the station that sounds like the city looks. Tune in on your AM radio dial at 1580. Download our free KBLA 1580 app or listen live on our website at KBLA1580.com.
Unapologetically progressive. It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
Kenny Smith is here, and he has a store, Crenshaw Mini Market. It's on Crenshaw and 78th if you're in LA. And dang, you're open long.
Yeah, my hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sunday, 7 to 6 p.m. So I have a lot of hours.
Dang.
So I'm putting in the work. You got to put in the work.
Woo, you got to love it to do that.
I love it. And my mindset was like that because sometimes it's slow. You get a little bored. So either I turn on the music or I watch a little TV or I go outside and stand on the sidewalk, watch the cars fly down Crenshaw.
Yeah, they do fly.
And then, talk to the neighbors that's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And just try to get to know them on a first name basis.
I love that. And I know all are welcome. I mean, I'm always emphasizing black owned because I think that we need to be supporting each other in business. But everyone's welcome in your store, clearly.
Everyone's welcome in my store.
Because
I have all races come to my store already.
Because you have Funyuns and you have flax seeds. There's something for everybody. I was actually going to a question about the fruits and vegetables. How is it that you're able to carry fruits and vegetables when most of these, small stores don't do it?
Well, because I noticed they didn't do it. I said, I got to do something different. So I decided, I said, along with this, I even have a sign in there that says fruits and vegetables. So I do the oranges, the lemons, the apples, the bananas, potatoes, and onions.
Yeah. The basics.
The basic
sometimes
stuff.
you're trying to cook something, you just need an onion.
Yeah, just need an onion. They come and grab an onion and lemon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are ingredients. And then sometimes you're running in, and if I have a choice between a banana and Lay's, I'll pick the banana.
No, pick the banana.
But if there's no choice, I might just get the Lay's. So that's why I'm glad you have every choices, so we have the ability to find the products. We don't have to go all the way to Culver City to get black seed oil.
Right.
Or sea moss.
It's right here in the community now.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
And also, before I get off there, I like to also let all the listeners know, I also have a carpet cleaning business.
Okay. You're entrepreneurial.
That's been in effect since 1994. It's called No Color Line Carpet Care. And we've done a lot of business here in this community already. A lot of churches and mosques.
All right.
And homes in commercial buildings. We even went from here all the way to Riverside and back.
You want to give out the number for No Color Lines Carpet Care?
It's 424.
Okay.
541.
541.
6815.
6815. So you're in a black-owned building. You've got the Crenshaw Mini Mart. I like your slogan, "Good Choices, Better Living," but it's it's the angel on one shoulder, devil on one shoulder market.
Yeah.
You can get your Jolly Ranchers, or you could get your mango butter.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What else do you want people to know? Like, how are people supporting you? How's the business going?
Fortunately, for me just being open for a couple of months, as far as the store is concerned, I've been having a great little turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised. They're coming more and more and more by word of mouth, and I know this is probably going to enhance it as well. Me being on this commercial this morning, but we have gentrification going on, but I've had Hispanics come in the store, Caucasians, blacks, but everybody who comes to the market, when they walk inside, they say, "Oh, this is so nice. We're glad you're here. We're going to support you. We don't want to go down the street to." I'm not going to badmouth anybody because their prices are pretty high, and you have very good prices because we're not going to do the gouging. I'm here for the community, as they're here for me.
Yeah, that's important.
And I'm from the community, so I'm going to give back to the community.
That's important because it's true. A lot of small stores, you pay $80 for a Snickers.
Yeah, we're not doing that at this store.
So you have a business model where you can sustain without charging those super high prices.
Exactly. I'm gonna say this. Say, for instance, if I say spend $25 on a case or something,
right?
If I make $5 to $10 off that case, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not trying to double and triple and do all that stuff. I have chips 2 for $1 in my store. Small bags of chips. I have sodas for $2.
Right.
When sodas cost you almost $3 for a 20-ounce Coca-Cola.
Right.
So we have bags of ice, cups of ice. We have popsicles, and we have sorbet. We have like a number of options.
That's dope. It's definitely popsicle season.
And I also have a slushie machine for the children.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Slushies. Okay, you went all out.
I went all out.
And those are usually family businesses. But if we go there, we're going to meet you. Are we going to meet your family?
No, you're going to meet me. I'm on deck every day.
Dang, so you're late.
I might
right
have a
now.
family member there from time to time when they have time, but my children, they have professional skills, so they come down sometime in the weekend just to hang out with Dad. But no, I'm basically there all the time myself.
Now, what advice would you give? I mean, I know it's only been a few months, but obviously you're entrepreneurial because you have a carpet business that's been thriving since the 90s.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs? We're seeing folks start up and then failing. We're seeing folks getting pushed out, through the price gouging for leases and rentals and other kinds of shenanigans. So what advice would you give to entrepreneurs, startups?
Well, for startups, first of all, you got to try to know who you're dealing with. If you're renting a place, leasing a place from the individuals, you want to make sure that they're, well, even though, like, to bring up the brother, even though he had that long contract, he thought he was good. So you just, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Because you just have to pray about it. First of all, prayer is very important. Dot your I's and cross your T's, and just, you just have to be consistent. If you do get started, be consistent. You're going to have some good days, some bad days. You're going to have some disappointments. Oh, woe is me. But you just got to, I'm going to use those things. You just got to stay down. You got to stay with it.
Yeah, 7A to 7P is a serious,
God,
10 toes down kind of a commitment.
Yeah, kind of commitment. You can ask for something, and God can bless you with something. Now, what you going to do with it? He'll give it to you. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to put in the work? Or just say, I got a store? Are you going to really put in the work and really be there for the people? People come to my store right now, they might be short $1 or $2, say, Mr. Smith, can I get this until next week? I've done that already. And I'm going to continue to do that for the people because it's not hurting me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that way you get to love. We come in and have conversations. I listen to the customers. We talk. They end up talking about their family issues. But you got to have ears.
Yeah.
And you got to show some love. It's all about love. You got to give some love to the people. You really do.
Yeah, I think that's right. And especially in the era of AI, that human interaction.
But AI,
is
what that is.
Human interaction becomes more important, is all I'm
it's
saying.
the human interaction. AI, what is that? Artificial intelligence. I'm going to say that again to all the listeners. Artificial intelligence. So we have artificial intelligence teaching our children. Really?
I mean, it's really just a collection of all of our intelligence, but that's another conversation for another day.
All
I'm saying is that we know that if you go to Crenshaw Mini Mart, you're going to actually
Talk to a person.
To a person named
live
Ken,
person, not
who's
person
on
named
the air
Kenny.
right now. Person named Kenny, who's on the air right now, and who is a black person that we know actually owns it. He's not a front for somebody else. Now, if I'm trying to be the next Tabiti, the next April Sims, and I have a product, how would I apply to get it into your store?
Well, either you can just drive up, or you can call that number and come down and talk to me. Yeah, I'm open like that.
It's old-fashioned.
Yes, old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned style.
Yeah, you don't have to go no emails, and we're not doing all of no appointments. Just pop up. Let me know what you got.
Like fall through.
Yeah, fall through.
And make it
I'm here
happen.
to assist my brothers and sisters.
And, of course, if I want my carpet cleaned,
If
I'll
you want
call
your carpet cleaned, you call us.
424-541.
Right, 6815.
6815.
Yes.
I love that. Just, do you worry about the competitors in that sense? Because you said you're old-fashioned. Just come through. Just, call. Just stop by.
Well,
and when you talk about groceries, or you talk about, really trying to thrive in these days, many times you're going up against big chains and giant corporations.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I'm not even trying to compete with those people. They're going to do who they are. They have more money than I have, so I'm not even in that arena. I'm going to keep it small and simple and affordable for my people so they can eat. Times are hard right now.
Yes, they are.
So people got to eat. And just because it's a small convenience store don't mean my prices I'm going to gouge you. No, I'm going to show you love. You might not want to. Now, I know you can go to Ralph's or Vines or whatever, but just for convenience, you want to run in and grab some cereal, grab some milk, grab some eggs. I got it for you. It's there. And the price is right.
Yeah. Well, and I see you have some vitamins, apple cider vinegar. I love that because it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other.
No.
And also that there's a little bit of a dead spot there in terms of, everybody goes to Crenshaw and Manchester, and there's all those stores, and then Crenshaw and King, there's more stores, but right there at 78th and Crenshaw.
I'm kind of like the only little mom and pop store. I call it the mom and pop store, just right there in little walking distance. So, you don't have to get in your car and run down to Vines on Manchester, or come down here to Slauson to the other new market that's in the community, whatever it is, that grocery store.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But
but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about Crenshaw Mini Market.
We're talking about Crenshaw Mini Market.
Kenny Smith, it's so nice to meet you. Appreciate you coming in. I hope everyone goes there. Even more folks than are already going there to Crenshaw Mini Mart, and let's make this even more successful venture. Are you on any of the social medias? Can we find you on Instagram, or we just gotta?
I'm not on any of that. I probably need to branch out to that. I'm not too tech savvy.
He's at 7820 Crenshaw Boulevard. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and open Sundays till 6.
Yes.
Dang. Well, Kenny Smith, thank you for your commitment. Thank you for actually addressing affordability in a real way that's not just a bunch of gobbledygook talk, and thank you for caring.
Thank you for having me, and to all the listeners, come show up.
Stop through.
Yes.
Attorney Nana Gyamfi is going to join us next. We're going to talk about what it means that the Supreme Court has upheld birthright citizenship. All that is straight ahead on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Supreme Court has upheld bans on transgender athletes competing in girls and women's sports in Idaho and West Virginia. Independent Women's Forum Ambassador Peyton McNabb.
This really does help the Supreme Court because, to me, if they wouldn't have ruled this way, they would have lost all credibility.
The ruling says the laws do not violate Title IX or the Constitution, while supporters call it a win for fairness in women's athletics. New developments are expected in the death of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley as his family prepares to release findings from an independent forensic review. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says the results will address key questions, while the family continues to demand the release of all video tied to the police shooting. And the NBA is seeing another major shakeup as Kawhi Leonard is reportedly heading back to Toronto in a blockbuster trade. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Both of LA's NBA teams will not have their best player next season. The roster for the Lakers and Clippers will look a lot different after LeBron told the Lakers he wants to play with another team, and Kawhi Leonard was traded to the Toronto Raptors. The Clippers traded Kawhi for starting forwards Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick and first-round draft picks in 2027, 2031, and 2033. Kawhi, who played 7 seasons with the Clippers, turned 35 on Monday. It's obvious the Clippers want to rebuild with a younger roster. The Clippers started last season with the oldest roster in the NBA. The tennis world is hoping Serena Williams continues her comeback after losing her first-round singles match Tuesday at Wimbledon. In her first match since 2022, the 44-year-old Serena lost in 3 sets to Maya Joyne of Australia. Serena is still planning to play doubles at Wimbledon with Venus. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Listen up, KBLA delegation. We have something you need to hear. Right now, you may qualify for low-cost home internet. And we're not talking about a catch. This is real. Many internet service providers offer low-cost internet plans if anyone in your household is enrolled in CalFresh, Medi-Cal, SSI, or is income eligible. There are a lot of families in our community who deserve to be connected. Here's all you do. Call 844-461-7893. That's the Get Connected call center. Real people ready to help you enroll today. Or go online to internetforallnow.org to find a provider near you. You may also qualify for a low-cost computer through Human IT. Connectivity is not a luxury. In 2026, it's a necessity. And you deserve access just like everybody else. Call 844-461-7893. That's 844-461-7893. KBLA's got you. If you missed any of this, you can always go to our website at KBLA1580.com. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 in partnership with the California Emerging Technology Fund, CETF.
Going to a World Cup match in LA this summer? Ditch the parking stress and ride Metro. With direct service from across LA County, it's the easy way to get there for just $1.75 each way.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
This November, you'll decide who leads California. So shouldn't you hear directly from the people asking for your vote? Join us for California Voices, a political town hall and ballot forum, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Meet candidates running for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and other major statewide and local offices, including mayor of Los Angeles, city attorney, and LA County sheriff. Get clear, nonpartisan breakdowns of the propositions on your November ballot, both sides, no spin. And ask your questions directly, in real conversation, face to face. California Voices is brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, giving you the information you need before you vote. Mark your calendar, Saturday, October 3rd, 2026, California Voices. Follow KBLA 1580 for details and download the KBLA 1580 app. Your vote, your voice. Be there.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
She is a longtime civil rights attorney. She is the executive director of Black Alliance for Just Immigration. Also happens to be my friend, Attorney Nana Gyamfi is joining us. And we just talked last week about what the U.S. Extreme Court was going to do regarding birthright citizenship. And I'm going to speak for myself. I was petrified that they were going to overturn this decision and then come for not just so-called migrants, but also Black Americans, citizenship. How do you read what the U.S. Extreme Court has done, Attorney Nana Gyamfi? And good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, yes, it's a lot that has happened in one decision, and I think so. First of all, very glad that we had 5 justices. They claim it's 6, but I'll explain that in a moment. It's technically 6-3, ruling to block the executive order that the Trump administration had put into place, which actually was not just targeting children of undocumented mothers, but it was anyone who they felt had the kind of visa, either no visa or the kind of visa where you weren't staying here. So it would have included me, for example, whose parents were students. That is not a visa that is a permanent visa, but my parents were students. They, had kids here. Here we are, contributing and being part of Black America, fighting for Black liberation every day. We would not have been considered citizens, for example, under this scheme, even though the U.S. Constitution makes clear that if you're born here, that's what it is. And so I was also really stressed. Dominique, I didn't realize, I thought, I think of myself as cool. I realized that I really was stressed because I was like, these fools literally said you can't use race to prove race and improve race. I'm like, they're going hard on Black folks, including Black Americans. And so I was nervous. I'm glad that you had the decision that allows it to block. On the other hand, this should have been a 9-0. And it wasn't a 9-0, meaning that you have justices on this court who actually think that birthright citizenship is not, isn't what it is, isn't what the Constitution says it is, which is quite scary. Kavanaugh, who is one of the 6 who voted to block, did not vote to block based upon the Constitution, but voted to block based upon the Naturalization Act. And basically said, so Congress, if you want to change that and limit what birthright citizenship is by legislation, you can go ahead and do that. So I don't consider him part of the 5. He ain't there with Ketanji. You feel me? He's in a different space. He still thinks the Constitution doesn't say what it says. And then, of course, the other fools, led by Clarence Thomas and his idiot self, clearly don't think, clearly believe that the Constitution doesn't say what the Constitution says. And so in that way, Dominique, it's scary because the empire strikes back. I mean, the DOJ's response was to post something on social media basically saying, yeah, whatever, we coming after people, if it means that you have to be, if you give birth here, those child are U.S. citizens, we'll know how to deal with that. And so, add pregnancy to the list of profile elements when it comes to body snatching out here for Black, brown, Asian, and indigenous women.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that they have planted the seeds for the revocation of birthright citizenship in the decision to overcome Trump's executive order.
Absolutely, which you and I had talked about, right? I was saying they're going to do something like the travel ban, the first time the African and Muslim travel ban, where they were like, bro, you can't do it like that. You got to throw in some other countries. And he was like, oh, okay. And then he threw in North Korea and Venezuela, and then it stood, right? And so I think that it plants the seeds with the people, with the public, with the MAGA hats, with the, Clarence Thomas clearly trying to plant the seeds with Black American nativists, right? With all of the folks that they need to convince or to support in this effort to create this white apartheid state. And that they're trying to create by excluding everyone. This is their mode right now. And I think that people really need to be paying attention to it because, 6'3", 5'4", however you want to describe it, is preposterous under these circumstances.
So, I mean, what is the Easter egg that you see in there that is, the version of, hey, just include a couple more ethnicities and we'll give you, the wink wink. Where's the wink wink in this?
Well, I think part of the wink wink is the wink wink to Congress to say, hey, you all can do this limiting. And, I think that it, again, even for the radical revolutionary Nana Gyamfi, this makes clearer and clearer that, these elections matter, which is the reason why they have gone after black voting power so seriously, because they, there is such a thing as the capacity to have a constitutional convention. I just want folks to understand that. And the Constitutional Convention requires states to decide that they want to have a constitutional convention. We already see how these racists have gone after the states, have taken over states, have become supermajorities in states, and they're using this attack on black voting power to increase that even more. And once that it gets, through the states that they want that, and they bring it in front of a Congress, if the Congress is also made up of the, white apartheid folks, then this Constitution changes. And so I think it's, we may think of things just one step at a time. They're not thinking of things one step at a time. And so we have to have the capacity to do both in the best of African traditions, right? To be able to be here present, but also function in the future with our present selves.
So when you talk about this wink wink to Congress, can you give an example of the kind of thing they could do that would have a similar effect to what the executive order ending birthright citizenship would have done?
Yeah, they would just do the exact executive order as legislation. So it's a couple of things they could do, and actually at the same time. So one thing they could do is they could take the executive order, according to Kavanaugh, they could take the executive order and look at the Naturalization Act and then curb that act, like use that act, change it, alter it, because the act is a statute passed by Congress, right? So run it back through, alter it so that it takes away birthright citizenship for categories of people. That's what he's positing. And clearly the people that think that you don't need to have it at all would run with that, right? And so that's what he's putting out there. In the same way that, for example, those who are interested in voting rights are saying, hey, we already have a Voting Rights Act, but let's do this John Lewis thing. You know what I mean? Let's change some of this because we need to make it stronger.
I.e. the Save America Act.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of thing where they go in and they're like, let's grab this a little bit and take a little bit away. And then you look up and all of a sudden you got a Dobbs decision.
Right.
That's how it happens, right? It's the chip. And so that's how they could do it. And then say, we're not going to give you funding. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that unless you do this act. And they could also, either through EO or legislation through appropriations, decide that we're not going to fund hospitals and clinics that, allow people who are not permanent residents or citizens to give birth in this country.
So again, the victory is fragile.
Yes, the victory is fragile. We are still in a fight, people, and we need to understand that there's nothing that this court is giving us with the minority that actually is concerned about human rights and civil rights and women's, all of those rights. There's very little that's going to come as a complete gift package, right? There's going to be something in there that's going to be problematic, which in a way is something that, hopefully keeps us on our toes because, as you know, Dominique, it's very easy for us to get 12 terrible decisions from the Supreme Court, one good decision, and then everyone forgets that the Supreme Court is terrible and starts to put all their hopes and prayers in them. And we know that this is the court that, not this particular crew, but this is the court as an institution that gave us Dred Scott, that, darn near has not seen a black person under any condition that they didn't give the death penalty to, that has found that prosecutors that commit egregious acts that get people in jail for all of their lives, that they cannot be sued and have complete immunity, that gave this president complete immunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the same court. It's not a different court that did Dobbs, that did Calais, that's done all of these things. And so we always have to be on our toes. We cannot rely on the Supreme Court to be the savior.
Yeah. Well, to that point, I say, and I've said on this show, but I'd love to get your opinion. I've said repeatedly that when the Supreme Court makes decisions, huge consequential decisions, like the overturning of Roe versus Wade, those can take Dred Scott, for that matter. Those take generations to change. It's not something the next administration can come in and just fix it, right? I mean, you're going to have to get new Supreme Court justices. You're going to have to change public opinion or have a constitutional amendment to undo the harm.
Absolutely. And, that's why people are trying to come up with these ideas of like, okay, well, what can we do? Maybe if we expand the court and if we say, okay, let's add some more people, and there's like a notion that it automatically means that those more people are going to be people that are on the side of human rights, on the side of civil rights, women's rights, etc. I don't know why people think that.
Well, I mean,
so far,
you hope
folks it hasn't been successful.
Right. But the Congress could do that. They wouldn't need a constitutional amendment. In order to put term limits, we would need a constitutional amendment, correct?
Correct.
And that's what we really need. We need term limits. I mean, what other position is like an emperor or a king where you get to, no matter how corrupt you are, you get to be there for life? I mean, Clarence Thomas sneaking out of Capitol Hill, telling MSNBC he was just there walking around when he was over by the Republican offices the day before, all of these terrible decisions is laughable.
Yeah, it's laughable. I mean, it's laughable, and it's especially laughable as we have more and more people put on the court by these folks who are insisting on, becoming the white dictatorship that don't even have qualifications. I mean, right now, I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Justices Thomas and Alito are going to, retire.
Yeah,
and if
I
they
have.
retire, that gives this regime two more people to put on.
And they can get really
Amy.
Right, and they can get really young people, so we can have conservative terribleness for another 3 generations or whatever.
They have a person on there that literally does not know how to do the job. I'm not even talking about doing the job terribly in ways that we don't like. People that just don't know how to do things just should not be up there. Don't, at all. And he's going to add 2 more of those type of people, as you said, who are going to be young folks who, remember Brett Kavanaugh, who I was in the same school system with. I remember him as a kid, as a high schooler, talk about, I drink beer, I like beer, I drink beer. Yes, he's been liking beer for a long time. We're going to have more frat boys and other people thrown onto that court, and they just stay there for 50 years, and that's going to be okay?
Yeah.
Right? And so I think it's important. I'm saying 50 years, that might be an exaggeration, for 30 years, 40 years. But that is, we've got to look and see what are the ways that we can push back. But again, I don't think, I know people talk about expansion of the court. I'm not against expansion of the court. I just don't think it solves the problem. I think the problem has to be solved, as you're raising, Dominique, by some kind of rotation. Like, there's got to be something where you actually earn that space. And if, like the Asante royalty, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you get to be destooled. You don't just get up there and then you do whatever the heck you want to do, and we all have to shut up and just move on. Like, that right there clearly is not going to work. Again, I think there were high expectations for who would be in these spaces by some folks, and we're learning that actually, no, the ideas that we had, or that some folks had, based upon what the country teaches us about who ends up in these spaces, is not the reality, and we've got to deal with the reality.
Yeah, I mean, think 12 years is enough time for them to be there. Lifetime appointment is ridiculous. 12-year term, okay, that's 3 presidents to me, or 3 terms of the president. They shouldn't be there longer than that. I don't know what it will take. Lately I've been saying this. We don't even know what America's going to look like in another 5-10 years, because I feel like this regime is pushing things so far and the corruption so blatant that I don't know if America, as we have come to expect it to be, survives. There may be a reinvention, a revolution, or, whether that's at the ballot box or the old-fashioned way. It just feels like this is unsustainable.
Well, this is certainly unsustainable. I mean, for folks like Nana Gyamfi, we're like, yes, let us move on to the next phase, because this last phase has been terrible. It's been terrible. 250 years of terrible. So let's see what we can do as we look forward into something else. I mean, and that really is the issue right now, whether we see it or not. We are in a pitch battle for power.
Yeah.
We are in a pitch battle for what this country is going to look like.
I mean,
and I love it. A pitch battle, that means we can fight. Let's get it up, Dominique.
That means we can reinvent and reimagine. I love my country. I mean, I think a lot of great things have happened in 250 years, but there's definitely been some terribleness, more than a lifetime supply of terribleness in 250 years. And right now, I call it the tyranny of the unqualified, as we watch people like Amy Coney Barrett and Pete Hegseth, who really shouldn't be running, the county dog catcher's office in some of the highest positions possible in this country. We're talking with Attorney Nana Gyamfi. We'll take the final few minutes that we have with her to get her response to the ending of TPS, also by the U.S. Supreme Court. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
You deserve a treat, a $10 bill credit treat. If you get an LADWP paper bill but go online to pay it, stop! Break up with your mailbox. It's time to go paperless. With paperless billing, bill reminders come straight to your inbox. You can access 7 years of past bills in your online account, and you don't have to deal with paper clutter piling up. It's a win for you, your time, and the environment. $10 bill credit for new LADWP paperless billing signups. LADWP.com/paperless.
Hi, I'm Chris Holden, former California Assembly member, former Mayor of Pasadena, and CEO of LA Fire Justice. I've spent my career fighting for our communities. When I saw Edison celebrating $4.5 billion in profits while Eaton fire survivors struggled to make ends meet, it made me simultaneously sick and furious. Families and individuals are dealing with financial pressure, insurance delays, costly remediation, and the painful question of how to rebuild their lives, while the utility that caused the fire is paying its executives millions and is more profitable than ever. That's not justice, that's a disgrace. Join the lawsuit with LA Fire Justice to hold Edison accountable. We're here to help you, your family, and our community recover. Visit lafirejustice.com today to learn more about your eligibility and how to start.
Advertisement. Douglas Boxer, 221 East Walnut Street, Suite 100, Pasadena, California, 91101 is the attorney responsible for this ad.
LA Fire Justice is proud to sponsor Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is connecting you with services and solutions. Domestic violence and family violence is when someone in an intimate or family relationship tries to gain or maintain power and control over another through a wide range of abusive behaviors. Every single act may amount to abuse. Abuse can take on various forms: psychological and emotional, physical and economic, and sexual abuse. The Genesee Center Incorporated is a nationally recognized nonprofit domestic violence prevention and intervention organization, housing women and children from 30 days up to 2 years through emergency and transitional shelters. The Genesee Center also provides support services like mental health counseling, life skills classes, computer training, job referrals, after-school programs for children, field trips, tutoring, and comprehensive direct legal services. If you need help or you'd like to donate or volunteer, call the Genesee Hotline, 1-800-479-7328. That's 1-800-479-7328, or visit Genesee.org. Everyone has the right to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, Attorney Nana Gyamfi is with us. She is the Executive Director of Black Alliance for Just Immigration. And we've got 3 minutes, so I'm handing the mic to you to talk about the U.S. Supreme Court ending temporary protected status for Haitian and a few Syrian immigrants.
Absolutely. Just a devastating decision, especially for the 350,000 Haitians who are in temporary protected status, their families, and obviously for those 6,000 Syrians and their families as well. 3 highlights I want to give to folks just to push back against some of the narrative people have been talking about. So the temporary part of temporary protected status is not temporary as in how many years. It's temporary as in conditions. There are reasons people got that status, that things that are happening in their country, and if those reasons have changed, then those folks are supposed to return back to their country. If the reasons have not changed, if the conditions have not changed, they are not supposed to be returned, and their status is supposed to be maintained. Quick question: is Haiti better? Is Haiti in a good condition? Would we go to Haiti and just vacation there? The answer is no. And they know that, and the U.S. is part of that. And so the temporary conditions are still not over. They're still, in existence. And so it's really important that people understand that people understand that people with TPS are the most vetted people. You cannot be undocumented and be a TPS. You have to apply. Many people are denied because it's very strict in terms of who can actually get TPS. Of course, they still keep your application fee. But at the end of the day, these are the most vetted people, okay? The next thing that people should remember is that this is really about belonging. As I said earlier, if you want to create a white apartheid state, you got to keep us out, you got to lock us up, or you've got to kick us out. And this is a way in which they are locking up and kicking, or wanting to lock up and kick out a whole slew of black people. And again, we've got to pay attention to that, because there's nothing that this white man does in this country that is not that's harmful, that's not ultimately meant for black Americans. And then finally, the court said that the courts could not review TPS decisions, that they're just a decision of the president. And this, again, is like a march towards the continuing beat drum of the Supreme Court saying, yeah, you can't review what this president does. He gets to do whatever he wants to do, which should also be something of great concern to black America.
Yeah, well said. Attorney Gyamfi, tell us how to find you and Baji.
Please look for us on Instagram at InstaBaji, B-A-J-I at InstaBaji. We are also on Facebook, and you can find me on Instagram as well at Attorney Nana.
Attorney Nana Gyamfi at InstaBaji, and of course Baji, BAJI.org. Thank you so much for coming on this morning and giving us a little bit of clarity here.
Thank you so much for having me. Always delightful. Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed, it is always delightful. Quickly, I want to remind the KBLA delegation, today is the hearing for AB 2551, which would help give students back their rights to protest and get rid of the time, place, and manner BS that is taking away their rights and allowing them to be terrorized. We want you to call Sasha Renee Perez, 916-651-4025, 916-651-4025, and tell her to pass AB 2551 to vote yes on that bill. It's time for some well-being. Dr. Leo Moore joins us next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The Supreme Court has upheld bans on transgender athletes competing in girls and women's sports in Idaho and West Virginia. Independent Women's Forum Ambassador Peyton McNabb.
This really does help the Supreme Court because, to me, if they wouldn't have ruled this way, they would have lost all credibility.
The ruling says the laws do not violate Title IX or the Constitution, while supporters call it a win for fairness in women's athletics. New developments are expected in the death of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley as his family prepares to release findings from an independent forensic review. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump says the results will address key questions while the family continues to demand the release of all video.